Hey, welcome everybody. Sorry about a little bit of a delay here. Hope everyone can hear me okay. Um, just wanting to do some check. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Earlier, I was having some technical difficulties and not sure quite what was going on. Um, so just let me know that all is well here. Hold on here. There's something popped up. Let me take care of this. Here we are. All right. There we go. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I guess you all can hear me right, correct? Because like I said, there's just something here that's doesn't look quite right. Okay. Perfect. Hey, Bill. Nice to see you, man. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. It's just something wasn't looking right on the dashboard, and I'm looking at my little uh, monitor for sound, and it wasn't moving. And I'm like, what's going on here? But there, it's caught up. Must have been a little bit of a lag. Don't know why, but that's just how things go. When I was watching Four Leaf Whiskey earlier today, and she was starting out on her stream, she didn't have any sound. Well, that happens, right? There's not much you can do about that. You know, sometimes you think you're hitting it off and you're moving right on along, and boom, wasn't just quite up to snuff. But anyway, really great to see you all here. Been kind of streaming hit or miss, but as you know, I've just had a busy month in June. Holidays rolled in there just last weekend. Was spent some time with Dad, and just was like, you know what? I'm not rushing back here to stream last weekend, and always generally have difficulties when I'm up there at camp and giving me some type of problem. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just not panic over that there this past weekend, and we'll roll on along today. Well, I'm really glad to see all of you here. I really am. Appreciate you. Remember, smash that like button, support the channel. If you are new, please hit that like and subscribe button, and remember to click on that bell and support the channel. But like I was saying, I just want to say cheers to everybody. High five. Always glad to see you. Appreciate you. Haven't seen you around in a little bit, but glad you popped in here. And of course, Stacy, as usual, always glad to see her when she's in there. If you guys caught her stream earlier, it was a great stream. Like I said about the technical difficulties, you never know when they're going to strike. So we all got to support each other. And Vic, thank you for popping in there. And then, of course, Mr. Reynolds, cheers. Mr. Hall, great having you here. And yes, that red breast is always wonderful. And if people are wondering what I'm talking about, my first starter is I poured a little bit of red breast tonight. Figured I would get started on a little bit of that, something low ABV. It's only 40 ABV. Before I jump up a few little percentage points and get into the whiskey of the evening. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to that. When I saw that, I made sure I sent a picture over to Four Leaf Whiskey, and I said, I should have this, correct? And of course, she replied back and said, absolutely, you need to have that. So, of course, when I was in Pennsylvania last month, I picked that up because it's just not available here in Nevada. So I was like, all right, it's here. And I've been saying, oh, I'm going to review that, or I want to open that. But I thought, well, you know what? Tonight's a good night. I'm going to pop that bottle after I welcome a few people here, and we'll get started. Aaron, cheers, man. Appreciate you. And Bill, like I said, cheers, man. Really appreciate having you here. And here we go, Mr. Morgan from across the pond. Thank you for popping in. Always great to have you. And hopefully, Harry and I are going to, and Sweetgame's going to get together and get this stream going. But man, it's just, last month was just a tough month for me. But hopefully we'll get together. We're still in talks. So I got my fingers crossed. And then When they streamed a little over a week ago, I was home. I just didn't see the notification pop up. I could at least, popped in and chat or something like that. Felt bad, but I watched it, left my comment. So, supporting the channel, supporting the channel. Sig Sauer, cheers, man. Yes, yes, yes. Always good to be back and good to see you. Looky here, looky here. Bourbon. Yes, yes, yes. I put on that hat just for you. So appreciate you, man. Bourbon School. Cheers, man. That's right. Always appreciate you and always glad to see people pop in here. Always glad. Let's see. Any else? Hey, John, check your Gmail. Mark, cheers, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. Isaiah, cheers. Dave, again, cheers. And Z-Man, can't forget you over there, my neighboring state of Arizona. Always great to see you. Dano, cheers, man. Thanks for popping in over here. Should be pretty much caught up. Yes, I am. Good. Let me get a swig of this water. Oh, man. That's better. So as some of you know, I spend my weekends up at my camp, relaxing at the trailer. And so that's where I was this weekend. And so we hightailed it back down here to Las Vegas to hit the heat again. And like, oh my gosh, but was a good weekend up there. But I tell you what, since we had a lot of rain this year, and not to mention snow and snow melt, I'm not a person that's generally affected by a mosquito. In other words, they don't like me, and I'm fine with that. But something changed. Man, this has been the year for me that they've been on me like ugly on an ape. I mean, you name it, I've been attacked. And I don't care what you spray on you. I don't care how many of them candles you got. It's been miserable up there. So we got a screen house, and that has been pretty good. But the biggest problem is when the winds kick up there, it is terrible. But anyway, up there, I make sure I have a little stash of whiskeys. And one of the ones I like to keep up there, of course, is some Eagle Rare. And then I have a bottle of Smoke Wagon straight bourbon. And then I have a peated scotch I keep up there that really accents some of my English tobaccos very well because they're rich and smoky. And so it's a 10-year Scarabus that I keep up there that has a nice little punch of peat on there. And I tell you what, that was hitting the spot on Saturday. And I picked up this particular blend. Which one is it here? And man, have I been getting bombarded with the pipe tobacco blends lately, which I love. But, here it is. Here it is. So it's called Bowser's Castle Level 2 from the Country Squire. Man, it is smoky. It is robust. And it pairs absolutely well with a peated scotch. Absolutely. But it's gotta have some smoke to it. It can't just kind of wishy-wash around. You know what I'm saying? Just can't do that. It needs to have something on there. But man, that thing was just hitting the spot last night. It's like, I know some of you smoke cigars, so it's like when you find that one particular cigar and you just happen to get lucky and you pick that whiskey to go with it and it just hits that mark on all time. Well, that's where it was this weekend. And I think I showed this one before, Saints Espresso by Warped. This has turned out to be a blend that has grown on me, particularly with a cup of good, strong, dark roast coffee in the morning. It is fabulous. But when you pair it with something like this, the Redbreast 12 right here, wow. I wasn't sure if that little hint of coffee would have really went well with that. But in my opinion, bingo. So that little bit of coffee infusion that's in this tobacco is amazing. I mean, really amazing. It just not a place I would have went, but being that this was more of a mild tobacco, I thought, let me give it a whirl one day, and grabbed a tried and true, and right out of the gate, bingo, it was pretty darn good. Let's see here. Just finished a Redbreast 15 dram. So good. You know what? I'm not disappointed in any of the Redbreasts that I have. This whiskey has done me well, particularly the expressions I have from the last style to the cask strength. I'm you can't beat it. It's just been a good, solid whiskey. Really, I just can't talk about it enough. And I get asked sometimes, what would be a good Irish, and I just recommend the 12. I say start out there on the Redbreast. You can't go wrong with that. And another one that I mentioned before, which if you've probably seen it, but you've overlooked it, it's Slain Irish whiskey for about $25 a bottle. It's 40 ABV, pretty sure. I drank my last bottle up, so I don't have another one on the shelf. But I think it's 40, possibly 43, but I doubt it. For the money, wow, that was a really good bottle. I mean, it wasn't, I don't want to say, it wasn't super viscous, but there was enough there in that bottle that it was really good, and definitely worth me going back and getting another one. But every time I go to the bottle shop or go somewhere, for some reason, it's not like it's out in front of me like the Redbreast is or something along that line. You kind of got to look for it. It's there and generally on the bottom shelf, which I'm fine with. I have no problem reaching to the bottom shelf to get something that's good. So, but if you guys ever find that, give that a whirl for the money. That's Slain. I think you'll do great with that. And another person, I forget what they told me they mixed it with, because I don't mix drinks generally, but they said they put it in something. I don't know if it was ginger ale. I don't know why that comes to mind, but they mentioned about it, that it was good in something, and they drink it a lot at this time of year, and it jogged my memory, but I don't remember what they mixed it with, because like I said, I don't generally go for that. I know I just seen Dan in here. Yes, I did. Deathless Dogs. Let me raise a glass to that man. Cheers. And egg roll. Raise a glass. It's just a good sipper. It has flavor to it, that Redbreast 12. How do I say this? It's not one of the most flavorful whiskeys I've had, but it's good. It's consistent. And it's available. As we all know, that's one of the top things that we all love to have. Oh, hey, Tim, cheers. Appreciate you popping on over here. Oh, yeah, we're always having a great evening when we're just sitting here bullshitting and talking about whiskey. What isn't there to like? That's for sure. Single plus Irish has become my style of choice. Well, you know what? When I get into some conversations with Stacy, and I know she has quite a collection of Irish whiskeys, and she's pretty well known for her Irish whiskeys, that's for sure. I will have to say yes. These single pot stills are producing some excellent juice, without a doubt. And like I said, I'm anxious to get into this Drumshanbo. So I'm not gonna. I've got it right here. Kind of an awkward box, but I've got it, and I'm gonna pop this thing and we're going to open it up. Sorry, I was reading it the way I wanted you to see it, but it helps if I turn it around so you can take a look at it. But I'm going to pull this thing out of this. They've got this thing in here, and I had it out once, but I don't remember how I got it out of here without messing this whole contraption up here that they have. But that's all right. I'll figure it out. It's not a biggie. I'll do it. I swear. I'll do it. But, oh my goodness, look at this. Man is up way past his bedtime, but I appreciate it when Whiskey Nose pops his nose in here just to say hi to everybody. Cheers, Marty. Great to see you. Always nice to have you here. I know it's late over there on the East Coast, but thank you for just stopping in and supporting me and smashing that like button. Really appreciate it, man. Oh, look at this. We got another one, prescription bourbon. Let me raise a glass here. Cheers, brother. Thank you for popping in here. And look at this. I was just getting ready to talk about you. I really was. I was just going to talk about you because I'm talking about some blends. And I was telling them how lucky I have been lately in the blend bonanza with being gifted some samples. And I know you're going to recognize them, but some of these delicious little things that I have been given a chance to partake in here. I mean, I have been very lucky to get some delicious little things that, thank goodness, I've got enough jars now that I can start putting some of these little delights in. I mean, it's not ending here. Let me tell you, I've really got some generous people within the YouTube pipe community who you think some whiskey tubers are generous and want to share. I'm just telling you, Vegas Piper right there just so happens to live down the street from me, literally, thanks to the Flat Cap Piper a couple of weeks ago doing his awards presentation. I realized, because of Vegas Piper, hey, he's right here. But I mean, he has made sure that I've had some ample supplies of tasty things. I haven't even gotten to these ones yet. And am so looking forward to it. But I can't thank him enough for his generosity and, let me have these things. I mean, it's great. And the ones that I have had recently were Kramer's Father Dempsey, which is an English blend, which was good. But he and I will tell you, this Bowser's Castle level 2 puts this one to, it just puts that one right to bed. Not that it's not any good, but this one beats it hands down. And then the Seattle Pipe Club Plum Pudding Flake Special Reserve with a rum topping, and it's light. It's a very light rum topping. But I recently got to try this. This was amazing. Then, of course, C&D or Cornmeal and Dill Black Frigate. I tell you what, this was it's a crumble cake, they call it. And you definitely have to sip on that. But wow, he has hooked me up so far with some really good gems. And yes, I just kind of see his thing here at the bottom here, where he's like, oh yes, he agrees that Bowser is better. Yeah, no problem, man. Without a doubt, yeah. And it is good. It shocked me when I got it. Just by reading what was in it, between the Latakia, the Orientals in there, Virginias. I was like, oh my goodness, that just sounds like a veritable bouillabaisse of deliciousness. And so it was without a doubt. Anyway, really appreciate Vegas Piper and what he has done for me, and these samples that he has given me. And another thing that we traded some on, and I made sure that he took some of this one. This I'll get it a little closer there because I don't want you guys not to see this. The artwork is pretty good on it. But the paradoxal here, wow, has this turned out to be a very nice blend. And then, of course, when I met up with Vegas Piper this past week, he gave me this whole tin, to which he already had one opened that I got to partake of. And wow, it was thoroughly enjoyable. I mean, I didn't open this, but I had every intention on doing it this weekend. But I gave in to another one that I had previously had, but I just had another opportunity to try it in a Peterson pub pipe, they call it. And I just wanted to really experience that. And wow, it turned out to be a phenomenal smoke in that pipe. Really good, really good, really good, without a doubt. Yes, I do remember Sha Na Na. Yes, I do. And you know what? I'm not sure. It's funny you should mention that, Bill. I it's I thought of Sha Na Na when I first saw it on the website, but I don't think it has anything to do with either one of those. That's just what they named it. But I can guarantee you I am going to get some more of it before it is all gone, because I cannot not have that in the rotation. Cannot have that. Got to have it, without a doubt. But really, I really appreciate his generosity. That's for sure. So let me raise a glass to my buddy Vegas Piper and say, cheers, man. Thank you very much for those wonderful little gifts, those samples. You darn well know I'll put them to good use at some point. Certainly will. Cheers, man. I got to make another honorable mention. This particular one right here was a limited release by Savinelli for their 140th anniversary. So I picked this up in January and just literally got around to trying this. And the first time I tried it, I thought it was good. The second time I thought, but the third time into this thing, it was absolutely amazing. The cigar leaf that's in here really has complemented this well. And I think I just need a little time to become acclimated to this blend. And wow, it has really grown on me. And shared some of this with Vegas Piper, and he pretty much said the same thing that I did, that the first one was okay, the second one was I don't know, but when you got to that third, that fourth, and then it was like lit the match and away you go on this. This is magnificent. Magnificent. So, like I always say about a bottle, I try not to read reviews, for one, prior to me trying it. Two, don't judge it on the very first glass and drink the bottle down to the shoulder. Maybe it's 2 glasses, maybe it's 3, depending upon the bottle, and leave it set for a while, let it open up. And generally it will change, get a little oxidation in there. And Vegas Piper and I have talked about that, because alcohol is not the only thing that gases off inside a bottle. So, but just to give it some time to open up, and generally it will improve and it'll get better, unless it's the Bardstown Discovery 5. That just plain sucks. However, it did improve with age. I am able to drink that now. It might have had to sit a year before it got that good, but when I went back to it, that thing done well with some time in the bottle. Although it about pained me to choke down 3 glasses of that when I first got it. That's for sure. But anyway, I won't go back to that. Let me get another little sip of this Redbreast, and let's get into this Drumshanbo. I am really looking forward to that. Put my Glen topper on this, but let's open this thing up here. I said it has a nice box, so which made it really durable for traveling, because you know those professional baggage smashers they have at the airlines. I mean, they'll ruin anything. Oh yeah, I remember this now. Let me see. I've got to open this. I've got to pull on that and push on this. Where is this thing here? I mean, there is a trick to it. You have to grab these things here on the side first and lift those up. I mean, it's odd. Here we go. So I'll show you what I mean. You have to lift that up and then do the same thing on the other side. Hold on. You little turkey. All right. You want to be obstinate, do you? We can fix that here. Hold on. So you got to do it all the way around. There we go. Get the other one up. I mean, it's great. I don't know what their thought was and when they designed this, but that's okay. But once you move those two, then it will pull right up and out, because these release. It'll drive you crazy for a minute, you know, when you first look at it. But when these hold that down. So if you do ever find one of these and you get this thing, don't rip it up. Give yourself a minute and remember, find which side it is that pops up, that pulls out like this, and then do the opposite one. And then the rest of the stuff will pop right out, because these will release in there. It did take me a minute when I got this. I was like, how in the heck do you get this thing out of here without destroying this? So I took a minute and I figured it out. But here it is, out of the box, non-chill filtered, no color added, 43 ABV, single pot stilled, first fill. So this was the first thing in refilled Kentucky bourbon barrels, followed by oloroso sherry barrels. So this was finished in sherry. So I like a sherry finish. I'm sure that most of you do. Would have liked to have been a PX sherry cask finish, but I'm good with that. Yes, the fourth time was the charm on that 7LR180, without a doubt. And yes, it is a very unique bottle, particularly with the grains in it. And I made sure I put that in the description, but it's distilled with a malted Irish barley, Un-Malted Irish barley, and Irish Barra oats. I'm trying to see this, but the light isn't good. And on the bottle, there's a lot of, on the box, there's a lot of reflection. So hold on. The unmalted barley imparts a silky mouthfeel when combined with the Barra oats, creates an intriguing creaminess, spiciness to the finish that truly sets this Irish whiskey apart. I will be the judge of that. I guarantee you I will be. So, but like I said, when I saw this on the shelf at the State store in Pennsylvania, I said, I do believe this is what Stacy was talking about. And of course, I had to send her a picture. And of course, she replied moments later and says, yes, buy it, Anthony. So I did. Sorry. Hope this does not offend anybody, but I need this to open this because I cannot see where that darn... Oh, perfect. I found it. I cannot see where the... Got it. There we go. Bingo. I didn't see where the perforation was. And I said, well, I've got the thing for that fixes it. So put that back in the pocket in case I need it later. I'm going to pull this little thing off of that for right now, but I will put it back on. But I like some of these little, I don't know, pamphlets, books that they put on there. But like I said, this has a nice color to it. And I told you it's non-chill filtered, no color added, 43 ABV. And let's just see here. Let's just see. Kind of a disappointing little pop on that, but that's okay. Oh, speak of the devil, 4-leaf whiskey. She wanted to see me open this fine bit of nectar right here. That's why she is still up at this time of night. That's for sure. Well, you know what? I can agree with you because, Stacy did not hesitate when she told me to buy it. So, of course, here it is. All right. So I have a glass just waiting for that, and it's a special glass. It is a Golden Glen from none other than, I don't know if you guys can see this, but Whiskey Knows himself. He sent me this. So being that this is a special bottle, I'm going to put it into my Whiskey Knows Golden Glen here. So let's get a little bit going in the glass. Where is my Glen cap? Let me borrow that. Put that Glen cap on there for a moment. I kind of like the cork. It looks like it's got some type of, well, I shouldn't say the cork, but let's just say the cork for the bottle. It's a wooden top. It's not heavy. I thought it might be, but I kind of like the brass or imitation brass ring that's around it there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Make sure my fingers are not in the way. Sorry, this thing focused a little bit, but it is distilled by the Shed. It's probably going to be hard to see on there, but that's what it says. Well, I can make it out on the screen, but the Shed doesn't. And once I got it, I was like, oh, that's pretty neat cork on that, and it fits okay. It's not loose. It doesn't turn. It doesn't wobble or anything like that. So, sign of a good cork there. Ooh, nice maltiness on the nose. Almost reminiscent of a single malt Scotch. Definitely bready, sweet. I can smell the sherry, the sweetness from the sherry. Wow. Definitely a little caramel on there. I'm sure of it, but the maltiness is wonderful. The sherry is nice. It does have a creamy type of a smell to it, if that makes sense to anybody. I've always said this about a single malt Scotch is, especially if it's a good one, and the maltiness is just it's like banana bread to me on the nose. All right, that sweet smell, minus the banana, of course, but that's what it reminds me of whenever I smell a nice scotch, a nice single malt scotch. Well, this has a good, I don't want to say good, strong bread, sweet bread note. It's definitely not strong, but it is very detectable, and it's just enough that's like, oh man, I could just keep my nose buried in this. I don't know why, but pear is coming across. Sorry, I just had to revel in this a bit. It smells so good, people. I mean, I know I'm not saying anything that Stacy doesn't already know, 4-leaf whiskey, but I don't know if anyone else besides her has had this. Probably Bourbon Baller Lee has. I wouldn't put that past him, but I don't know if anyone else has experienced this at all. But will understand what I'm saying and the noses that I'm getting, the nosing notes I'm getting. God, spit it out. All right, Bourbon School, cheers to a 24-hour race and have been up for most of it. Oh, hey, totally got that. Yes. Have a great week. And unfortunately, I've got about 3 more weeks. I forget where I'm at before school starts here for the year. So it's like, here we go. Those little angels will be back. But you two have a great evening. Look forward to seeing you again and watching you on YouTube. Cheers. You know, I think this is the first time I have really experienced that, James. I don't think I've had anything with that in there. Maybe, and Stacy would have to jump in on there. And anything that she has ever sent me from the first flight she had sent me of some Irish to this last set of peated Irish that she dropped off here. Um, but I don't think, to my knowledge, that I recall ever having anything with the Barra Oats in it. So I don't know. All right. That's enough of me smelling this thing. Let me get a taste of this. Wow. The retro hail is amazing with sweetness. The spice is rolling from the back of the tongue forward. The creaminess abounds. Aha! See? I probably, it was like, and speaking of that, I still have some, Stacy, just so you know, of that poaching. Ta-ta-da-da-ta-da-da. I'm holding off, not having any of it, but I know somebody that I'm going to make sure he has a taste of this. I told him about it when I saw him on Thursday, and I'm going to share that little bit that's left in there, and he'll appreciate it. I know he will. You know, I got to spread the love a little bit and let somebody else experience that, because not many people get to even know what the heck that is. So, and I was one of them until you explained it to me. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna spread that love a little bit. But let me get another sip on this thing, because this is definitely going to be another pour night of this. As in, I'm going to have another pour. I'm going to have to say, out of all the Irish whiskeys I have, this is a different taste, but it is the silkiest, creamiest. The spice is nice. It's a clean, how do I say this? It's clean on the finish. If that's a good choice of words, clean on the finish. But the spice just rolls in over the tongue and coats it. The sherry is there, but unfortunately it doesn't. I think that's where it's lacking. The sherry finishes quickly, but first impressions on the second sip is, this is good. This is definitely this is definitely one that is worth some time exploring. I can tell you that right now, to which I shall do that over a few more pours this week. I'm not going to have any trouble getting this down to the shoulder tonight. So you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, what do you think the age of this is? I'm going to say somewhere around maybe 5 years, 4 years. Stacy, am I pretty much in the mark on that? But it's not, it's for as young as it is, if it's in that range, I think it's fine for a 4 or 5 year old whiskey, especially at, I don't know, what did I pay for this thing? Like $52.99 for this bottle. So I know it was a little cheaper than you can get it for. I don't think it was a bad price. You know, Ben, I do what I got to do for everybody here. You know, it just has to be done sometimes. And so I'll do it. Now, the Redbreast 12 that I had before this had some of this spiciness to it, even though it's only 40 ABV. This one's 43. I wanted to either meet the ABV on this. I definitely did not want to exceed it tonight. There were a few things that I looked at, like the cask strength Redbreast. I was like, ooh, I'd like to have that. But I figured, let's start low and then I'll work my way up to this and then I can go on to something else. But no, I'll probably, I've got a little bit of the Redbreast 12 left, finish that off, and then do a little taster of this Irish here before I call it a night, because it's really good, really good. To me now, I'm wondering to myself, what would I pair this with? And because it has a sweetness to it, and you know, I think I might have to try that Savinelli cigar blend because it's very citrus forward, and I think that with this Irish whiskey, the creaminess, the sweetness, and I'm getting a hint of pear on the palate and on the nose. I think the mildness of that particular blend of tobacco would do well with this. And there is only one way to find out, and that is I will have to try it out here coming up. No, Z-Man, this is terrible. You definitely would not want to add this to your collection. No way in hell do you want to do that. That just means there's going to be more for me on the shelf, people. Shh, don't tell him. When you talk about the sweet breadiness, I'm thinking it may be good paired with I forgot. Orlick Golden Slice. Wait a minute. It's here. It's here. Not spark plug, not that. I know it's in here. I know it's in here. Mark, hold on. Bingo. Right there. All right. That's a done deal. The golden slice it will be. Well, you know what? That, and remember, this has a little citrusy on the tongue in the beginning. So, but I'll put both of them there since you mentioned it. And it's a done deal. If I got coconut, I would probably turn my nose up at it because coconut is not my favorite. But remember what I said about orange and then the peated Irish you sent me that has like the orange liqueur on there. And I was just say it's here somewhere, but I moved it behind me. Oh, no. Hold on. Yes. It's short cross. Yes. Peated single malt finished in, I think it's cognac and orange liqueur. Boom. I said, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have touched this with a 10-foot pole. Well, I touched it and it was darn good. Stacy put this in a flight for me and I did it on her channel. And wow, 66 ABV. The orange is not off-putting on this short cross Irish. Really good. And I'm like, ooh, I should have some of this, but I'm not. And I was like, I know it's here somewhere because I was talking about this. I talk about these ones you sent me, Stacy, a lot because they were very unusual and something that I would not have reached for only because the orange just, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't belong in whiskey. But wow, that was really good. So anyway. And each sip afterwards, it's just nicer. The creamy texture, the spice, the sherry, it just seems to build as you get more adjusted and your palate gets more adjusted to this. Yeah, this is a nice sleeper. And yeah, Bourbon Baller's right. It's I'll call it a sleeper that people don't know about. And if I were you, I would definitely look for a bottle. And it is definitely one that you would mind sharing with others. Um, I think it would be wonderful. Mm. Yeah, that's a good whiskey. That is a good whiskey. The only reason why I did not get two while I was there, I picked up the Lafroig Lore when I was there only because it was $80 cheaper in Pennsylvania than what I could get it for here in Nevada. 80 bucks. And I'm like, yes, please put that in a basket. And so because of weight, and they charge the crap out of you now for stuff, I didn't want to get excited and go over. That didn't work too well. They still charged me an additional 80 bucks. And I was like, are you crazy? But what was I going to do? I had to get the stuff back here. Let me get a little more in this glass. It was definitely worth another little taste on there. Put that lid back on. Boom. There we go. Let me put my little tab back on. I am not going to fight it to try to get it back into that box tonight, but I will tomorrow. But it's a nice bottle. I like that little short looking bottle there that this thing has. I forget the name of this. I was going to say there's a name for this dent that they have on here, and it escapes me, and I've been trying to think of it, and I can't. If anybody in chat, James, Stacy, Bourbon Baller, what in the heck was this called? There's a name for that notch, that bump that they put at the bottom of the thing here, but I can't remember what it is. Somebody tell me, because it will drive me crazy until I do. And when it will come to me is when I'm really not thinking about it. But anyway, Quail's Gate. Ah, yes. Yeah, that's not, that Quail's Gate is I don't think I've seen that in Nevada, but I don't know where I know that from, Bill. Huh. Mm-mm. Holy smokes. Cheers, brother. Your ears had to have been ringing. And I know it's late for you because Marty was here, but honestly, I was thinking of you today, and I was like, I got to shoot you a text. Dude, I'm so happy you just popped on here. Go ahead back to sleep, but you just made my night here because you popped on. Cheers, man. Great seeing you, Rob. Appreciate it. Honestly, thank you very much for popping in here. And it is late for you on a Sunday. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So cheers, man. Go ahead, take your piss and go back to bed. Thanks for popping on. Ah, okay. And I'm thinking green spot. Okay. Gotcha, Bill. The, the dots were connected now. Sorry, I was a little slow. I was pretty happy I seen Rob up there because was wondering about my buddy there. Missed him when I was back home. I just couldn't pop over to his place, and I was literally 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away. I mean, I just couldn't get over there and drink his whiskey. And I know it would have been there as much as I could have stood, but I feel bad I just couldn't get there. I'm going to have to start finding that, but on there, because everyone's telling me that's the one of the spots that I have got to get. I think it might be the same, Mike. I think it might be the same. Hey, you never know what's going to happen on this channel, James. You've been around long enough to know. Sometimes it swims, and other times these streams sink. I don't know. It is what it is, brother. I think that's the one she's kind of on the fence on, Bill. I've never had the green. I mean, I've tasted the green spot and it's good. I don't have a green spot. I've got the blue spot. I've got the blue spot. I like that. As a matter of fact, every time I go to Yuma to visit the parents, I have to take that bottle. My stepmom, she really likes that. I mean, she says, "Oh my God, I can't believe how I like this." So I just bring it for her now to sip on. And that thing's what, 107 proof on that bottle? 108, 110? I think it's 107, but it's right around there. And, you know, to see her sipping on that and going, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." And I just laugh and go, "Yes, it is. Drink as much as you want. You're over 60. You have as much as you want." Yes, it is true. Hey, you're not going to get any argument from me. Yep, I didn't think she was, Bill. That's why I remember her telling me. I mean, it's not that she won't drink a dram of it, but she doesn't reach for that regularly, because her and I had a discussion when I saw those bottles when I was in Total Wine a while back. Because when it comes to Irish, period, that's my go-to woman right there. I'm sending her a picture. I'm texting her. I'm ringing her up on the phone. You know, "Hey, what about this? What about that? What about this price? What about that price?" Yeah. I mean, I didn't buy this until she said, "It better be in your hand." And I'm paraphrasing, but so that's why I left the store with it. You know what? I'm very lucky. Tim made sure I had a taste of the gold spot, and I thought it was good, but I think I like the blue better. And I may be a little biased because I have the blue and I've had more sips of it. Maybe if I had more sips of the gold spot, I would have a better appreciation for it. Because as you know, Dave, you can't always, I want to say this, really develop an appreciation for a spirit until you could have had a couple of glasses to really sit with that experience, to appreciate the craft that went into that to distill it. You know, like I said, that's why I was like, you just need time to sit with it and experience that. And maybe if I had, you know, a couple more drams of it, when I say a couple more drams, maybe another dram or two, I don't want to say to let it grow on me, but like I said, to experience it, I might appreciate the gold spot a little more. But right now, it's like, it's good. It's good. But I didn't run out and buy a bottle. One, because I thought they were ridiculous in price out here. It's like, I don't know, was it 200 and something a bottle? And I thought that was high. when the blue spot, after that first dram of the gold that I had, I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's that good for 200 plus bucks on a bottle of the gold. So I was like, yep, no. Every time the red spot pops its head up. Well, you know what, Bill? I haven't seen a red here in Vegas for 200 bucks. In other words, if I'm not mistaken, they're north of that here. And I don't think it's worth it at all. Just to have something on my shelf to say, oh, yeah, I've got a red spot. I've got a yellow spot. I've got a gold spot. I've got a blue spot. I got a green spot. I got a black and blue spot on the top of my foot where the dog dropped the bone on it. Does that, can I put a price on that? So, yeah, I just, no. Huh. Blue spot is good. And red spot's your favorite line. Wow. I'm gonna have to come up with a dram or two of that. I'm sure somebody I know will part with one and drop it off next time they're in Vegas so I can know if it's really worth spending the money on. You don't mind buying something, but when you're in that $200 range, it's like, man, I want to try before I buy. I want to try before I buy. And we've all said that. Yep. Mm-hmm. And yes, they are. Like I said about the gold spot, that's my real comparison with the blue. And like I said, I've had a few drams of green. I don't have a bottle, but I've had enough to say, you know what, the green spot is not bad. It's decent. Green to blue to gold. I like the blue over the gold or the green. I just like that higher proof. I think it's very, very caramely, very viscous on the blue spot. So, it's just a preference, and everybody's that way. Everybody has a preference. So no big who. Well, hey, got it, Rob. Totally get it. There's some that I went back to that's on that shelf that I haven't touched in a dog's age. And I'm like, wow, I thought this, I remember this as being a lot better than it was. So, I'm like, okay. Speaking of okay, what's up?
Cheers, Anthony. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Oh man, I'm pouring some Larceny B523.
Finally saw that hit the shelves here last week.
But wait, what are you drinking? That's what I already had poured.
I'm drinking Drumshanbo Irish.
Oh, Irish?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that, but I can pour another Irish.
No, drink whatever you got. This is my channel. I don't care what you drink.
It's empty. I already killed it.
Drink whatever you want. If you want to drink Larceny, dude, drink Larceny.
I'll drink Irish.
All good.
We're gonna do that. How about?
Hey, you know what? Isn't that something? But I got the lore for $80 cheaper than in Pennsylvania than I could get it here.
You got what?
I said lore. I picked it up for $80 cheaper in Pennsylvania than I could buy it for here, because here it's like $189. There, I still picked it up for $99.
Yeah, Lafroig is lore is pretty expensive now. It went up really fast.
It hit, yeah. It won. I think when I last was thinking about it, it was right around $129 here, and I thought that was a little pricey for it, but I almost pulled the trigger. But I bought other things, so I just didn't. Oh, look, you got some green spot there. All right.
This is the Breton.
Focus. Focus. Oh yeah, that's the one Stacy likes.
Yeah, this is the one Donald Rance told me to get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a little bit lower proof does not hurt me right now.
No. It does a body good sometimes.
I was I'm at 4 hours after Livewire started now, so
Oh yeah. I understand that.
this is 92 proof. And I put it in a very special glass.
Look at that glass, man. That is special.
4 roses.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, these, I will say, when it comes to on the nose, ooh, yeah.
Same but different.
Yeah.
Same but different. Bigger. I just like a little more.
So I will say on the nose, I think I prefer Irish over others.
Well, I like what I like about some of the Irish is the maltiness of it reminds me of a good peated Scotch, and I am addicted to the scent of those. I just love to nose that malty grain sweetness. I am. I
don't get
just
that
enjoy
on this one, but I do like, so I feel like there's a light refinement on a lot of Irish, not all, but the Irishes I like tend to be a little bit more refined, very floral. Obviously, Irish is known for being a little bit more floral, but there's just something about it. Like, I don't even have to drink this. I could just sniff it forever.
Exactly. Yeah, Jim. Cheers, man. Just remember, nothing stops the mail, brother.
Yeah, Jim was hanging out with Adam and I. We were talking about standing in line for whiskey.
Who would have ever thought?
Realize even with that, I can be pretty dirty in my head.
Yes.
I'm not the greatest person, maybe. I don't know. Oh man.
Hey, did you say that out loud?
Still here. Where's Stacy? We're having freaking Irish right now, and Stacy's not.
Stacy's here.
Tommy D.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Yes, Stacy.
They're still hanging out on Livewire back room, probably.
Well, that's all right. You know, they have to do it. What can you say?
Dude, I just hit the like so hard, I tooted.
Dude, I felt it. I thought it was a slight tremor here.
Man, this is like this. There's something about the nose on this green spot.
Yeah.
Tommy's going to BRD, whatever that means.
Oh, he can. Oh, man. Stacy, it's in your email.
Oh.
It's in your email, Stacy.
Dude, that is so good. It is so, like, I feel like bourbon is something, if you really wanted to, you could chug it. Irish, I feel like, is one of those things where if you chug it, you miss it.
Oh, there are certain ones that's just not meant to be chugged.
Yeah, like not everything is chug life, Anthony. For real.
Well, hey, see the shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I survived more than twice.
Yeah, twice. Bill Monteith, I agree. Spot whiskeys are very pleasing. So my favorites, obviously, Blue Spot is my favorite, just because it's higher proof, and I tend to be a bourbon drinker. Green Spot, I love the finish. If you get the finished green spots, I like the finishes on the green spot. Red Spot, I like the age. Yellow Spot, I think, is kind of in a middle range where I feel like it's kind of expensive for what it is. It's still good, but it kind of doesn't have the place that the other ones have.
No, no. I like the blue, and like I said, my stepmother, she just thinks it's great, and I just
And we're
laugh.
seeing more blue spots around here. I actually see it on the shelves on occasion.
I haven't
It's more
seen it.
expensive now. It's like
Oh yeah,
130, 120, 130, but
yeah. I was gonna say it's about 140 here last time I seen it. So there you go. Yeah, it's going north. I forget what I got this one for, but I don't want to say I've stopped drinking it, but I haven't since I know my stepmom likes it. So every time I go to Yuma, well, now I'll start bringing it up to camp with me because they're up there. And so I'll just leave it. Say, here, finish it. I don't care. You know, if she
for
can
sure.
have a glass of night till it's gone, or teaspoon, tablespoon, I don't care. Whatever she wants. But
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like a little more when I drink a Irish, it's more like it's more of a relaxing. I don't know. It's good,
mhm.
man. So I heard an interesting. I saw it was a T-shirt. Actually, I didn't hear it. It was a T-shirt. Oh, Stacy!
I just can't. I am shocked at you East Coasters who are still up to see me stammering.
I had a nap.
Oh,
That's
oh, well,
Yeah, she was
that says
drinking
everything. I
beer
had a nap.
earlier, for the record.
But watched your stream today.
Oh, thank
Technical
you.
difficulties will strike no matter
Oh
what.
yeah, every time I move, I have to move the setup. I run into something. It's no biggie.
Your
I-
bar
you
is
know-
looking great, Stacy. Look at you behind you. It looks
Thank you.
I'm
amazing.
telling you.
I got to add another row. There's too much stuff
Oh,
that
dude.
I can't
Wait,
fit. It's
like
all the bathroom.
look at Greg McDonald. He has to add another house.
that guy, I'm telling you, he has an amazing
Dude, he's crazy.
collection. Honestly.
So I saw a T-shirt today, which I love about all of this. And it reminds me of just the whiskey experience. And it was, when I die with memories, not dreams.
I'll raise a
said.
glass to that.
I thought that was pretty
pretty cool.
inspiring just in life itself. Like, if you're dying with dreams, you didn't go create the memories as much, right? Like, not always
Mhm.
true, but I do think like I would much rather be thinking about on my deathbed the memories I have with you all, with the stuff that we create in life, than what I wish I had.
Hey, that is
Agreed.
truth. That is truth.
So I really love that. I might make a live. Man, probably won't be a live wire shirt. It doesn't really fit our MO. But I may make a shirt around that. That is, go
You
live.
never, you never know.
Go live and make memories and make your dreams. So a boot and rally. Wow.
Anyway, well, I appreciate you popping on there, Stacy.
Oh,
And
no,
to-
I saw your thumbnail that you were opening the Drumshanbo, and I told my husband I started watching Livewire, and I'm like, I got to get a nap.
I gotta get it
Oh,
because
I have
You
have
have 3.5 hours. It's fine.
Hey, Northwest Bourbon, cheers.
What do you think about that, Stacy? I feel like Irish is a little like bourbon is more of a you go do it and it's a activity. I feel like Irish tends to be more of an experience.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm a big believer too. I'm not a collector. I'm like, I don't care if it's the most expensive bottle on my shelf. You want to come in? You want to try it? Let's open it.
Yep.
Let's share it with friends, because I'm going to remember that bottle more by sharing it with a group of people I love than if it just sits on my shelf and I sell it for $100 more than I paid for it.
Or it just sits there and collects dust.
Or it
but you
just
say
sits
you
there and
got it.
collects dust.
Hey, corn with whiskey, cheers. But yeah, you're right. That's like a couple people said, "You open that GTS yet?" I said, "No, but September's coming.
You got
September's
a
coming."
GTS? You got a new GTS, Anthony?
No, I would not have a new GTS up on my shelf.
Mm.
No, 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 no. Mm-mm.
I'm not sure I believe you.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have that up there.
That one right there, when you're pointing at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you clearly don't have that.
No, I do not have that up on my shelf.
Nope. Doesn't
Nope.
exist.
Does not exist. But September's coming. That's when Lil and Chris get here, and they'll be down. And I said, well, if I haven't cracked it by then, I'll crack it with them. And
I don't know how you haven't cracked it by now. Like, if I ever have a bottle like that.
Well, you know what? It's just me and select people. Now there are select people that are here that definitely would get tastes of it because I would drop them off at their house. But it's one of those things that I held on to the Pappy, the Van Winkle, the very old Rip Van Winkle for over a year.
And we cracked that in my room.
Bingo, because there was enough people, and I said, "Here it is." Boom.
It's like a double-edged sword, right? It's like you don't want to not get to that point where it would be the perfect place to open it, but on the other hand, it's like when you have the perfect time to open
It's
it,
the
you want to do it
perfect time.
then.
And you know what? It didn't last, and I
Dude, we
parted
did
it
some
out.
damage on that bottle when you opened that in
I
our room.
parted it out to others so other people can taste it, you know, and I'm fine with it.
And I'll agree, like you can crack that stuff by yourself and you're like, oh, I got to try it. But sharing whiskey with whiskey people is way more rewarding than drinking it by yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I mean, I'm excited that Stacy stayed up for one. Two, Marty was in chat.
Dude, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning there.
Three, yeah. Rob was in
1:17.
chat, and I was thinking about him earlier today and actually yesterday. And I'm like, God, I gotta call him. I gotta drop him a text. And you know, when I was home, I was 10, 15 minutes from him. I just couldn't get there. It was just too busy with everything going on when I was back there. So, and Shane was 40 minutes away from me. He was working. I couldn't get there to see him. I mean, literally, he was north of Pittsburgh and I was just south of it. I just couldn't get there. There was just no way to swing a morning or an afternoon to do it. It was like, holy smokes. Look who else is here. Can you believe this?
Dude, Nick Proman is still sober enough to be awake.
And I know. It's like, holy smokes.
Dude, I love Nick Proman. That guy is amazing. I always say you're the nicest guy. Like, honestly, Anthony, you are probably the nicest human being in Whiskey Tube. Not gonna lie. Full stop. Nick Proman.
I'm just checking my shelf to see if you took anything because
Nick Proman is like the sweetest guy not having a channel in Whiskey Tube. I mean, his wife has
Nick's
a channel.
an Irish whiskey guy, so I like Nick.
Yeah, Nick is super cool, dude. I freaking love Nick Proman to death. Yeah, Nick's the better half. Don't tell Adriana. She's probably asleep already. No, she's not.
But I was going to say, be careful because that angry Rican will pop in here.
Like, it's funny because you like, I'm friends with both of them, right? Like we're in group chats and it's like, oh God, I love Adriana so much. And then Nick says something and Nick chirps in and you start talking to Nick and you're like, oh my God, I love Nick so much.
Well, you know, a friend of mine here, we get in discussions about whiskey and so on and so forth. And I told him about Whiskey Mountains and the video that she had done on whiskeys on Oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. I know it's the thing is the the one she did on she broke all the things down about hold on, it'll
The
come to me.
scientific one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one? Oh my gosh, Nick, help us out here. We're
Nick.
old and can't remember.
How are you not helping us? You're usually the first one asleep.
Oh my gosh. See, I got to stop thinking about it.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yep.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
I might have Alzheimer's. I'll be honest. I have had a terrible time remembering names lately.
Oh, geez, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like it starts like when I'm sober, like right now I'm not. But when I'm sober, I'll be like, I'll say something and I'll stutter a little bit. Right? And I'll be like, Frankie, did you just hear that? I stuttered. Like, is something wrong with me? And then I won't remember a name. And I'll be like, oh my God. Like there's something wrong with me right now. And it goes down that path right now. Rob is awake. Where was he? I didn't see Rob before right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's been in chat. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
he's been in here.
Yeah. I was so happy to see him, excited because I've been thinking about him. I was like, oh man, I got to reach out to him. I got to reach out to him.
I swear to God, I love so many of you guys. It's hard for me to keep track who I love more. But Stacy, you're number one.
When we were talking about the esters.
Oh yeah, she did about adding the water and kind of broke.
Oh yeah,
and broke everything down. Yeah,
yeah.
That was
Really
I told
you. I told you. I think if I stopped thinking about it, it would come to me, and then, I had to get the new tape on the deck and feed it through to the next reel and replay everything back.
You're right, James Morgan.
I'm like that as well. I'll remember something that happened a year ago and something my husband told me like 3 days ago. I'm like, you didn't tell me that.
But
I don't hear what my wife just said. So
yeah, my husband doesn't hear anything I say usually.
Well, that's just it.
I heard a comedian, I forget his name, but he's really funny. I listen to him all the time. And he was talking about how his wife somehow over the last 17 years is batting 1,000. And he's like, apparently I never hear the things she says, but she's always said it. He goes, I don't think she said everything she thinks she said. Pretty sure she's not batting 1,000, but I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Mr. Jackson, cheers. Want to make sure I say hey to you.
That dude is an awesome dude, just so you know.
He is too. He's a nice guy. Enjoy when he's in chat. Enjoy when he's on stream. He's just one of those people who's good around good old egg. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Pretty sure most people in this community are pretty awesome.
They are. I can honestly say, we've talked about this, all of us, many times, that just how this community is, and it's filled with a lot of really good people. And I mean, everybody here that's in this chat tonight, I mean, is there. They're those people. They're really good people, and I'm happy to know them and personally have gotten to meet some of those people. And it's just a great community. It's a great time. And I was talking to Ken today when I was up at camp, and it always comes up, if I'm going to do a Patreon, and I said, what it comes down to is I don't want to work at this channel because it's work.
Yeah.
I feel if somebody gives me $1, I have to give something to them. Mm-hmm. But then I've had offline conversations and they go, and this is what a lot of people said, I don't expect anything from a channel. I'm giving them $5 a month. It's because I like the channel, period. Mm-hmm. And I want to keep watching the channel. I don't expect a hat, a Glen, a monogrammed toothpick. And I laughed. I said, what? A monogrammed toothpick? Where'd you get that from? They're like, they're being sarcastic. I went, oh, I thought they were serious. Like, like a monogrammed toothpick. But I said, I don't want to work at it. is why I really don't have one.
I'll be honest, like the Patreon, Adam does a lot of he kind of controls most of our Patreon, but it is a lot. Like trying to make sure you're keeping up with the promises you make, and it does create more, right? Like we try to do this just for the community, be part of the community, and you still want to take care of those that are taking care of you.
And you guys,
everybody's
do a great
super
job
cool
on
about it,
Livewire.
but you still have your responsibilities in Patreon.
Well, yeah.
I just launched mine this past week, and I'm like, I want to. It is a lot of work because I feel like I want. I launched Patreon just this last week, and I'm like, but I want people to feel like they're getting their money's worth out of it.
And yes, because if they're giving you something, you want to make sure you're meeting that expectation and that in satisfying them for what they expect. So now there is the pressure to perform, let's say, to meet that expectation or need. And I'm not saying that I would never do that. I'm not ruling it out tomorrow or whenever, but right now I'm not there. Now I've had people, I mean, hey, I'm buying you a beer, and next thing you know, there's a Bing in my Venmo or something like that. Thank you. Like on my birthday, people shot me stuff, but they knew I was back east over my birthday because of grandma. But anyway, they're like, hey, go have one on me, which was really great. And I've had some talks with them, and they're like, hey, they don't want to be mentioned. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. A lot of people like to do things without others knowing because they're genuinely a good person. They're just not, I don't want to say boastful, but I'm just going to use that as the term. They do things quietly, and which is absolutely fine. I'm all good with that. And I said, so Ken and I were talking a little bit today, and also just on the way some of the streaming, I'm gonna say streaming channels, not necessarily my channel, Livewire channel, 4 Leaf Whiskey channel, but channel as in YouTube, Instagram. When I say channel, those things are starting to clamp down on streamers, particularly whiskey, anything that has to do with alcohol, tobacco, firearms. I mean, there's a few others. I'm just not going to go into the whole thing, but
they've changed up the algorithm.
Yep. And my thing is this, though, is why?
Yeah.
Why are you censoring that? It's nothing is illegal that anyone's talking about. I can understand that you have to watch your audience. Absolutely. So all mine are, if you're under 18, it's not for you.
Do you have one level, Stacy?
Yep. Just one.
Just one. That's all she needs.
Yep. I completely forgot to mention it during my stream today, too. I got so into the beer and whiskey, I completely forgot to bring it up. But yeah, I'm doing a big giveaway at the end of the after the first month for whoever joined. I'm going to do a raffle. I forgot which ones I'm giving away. I'm giving samples of Redbreast 27, Middleton Very Rare 2020, Dunbill's 21 year. But
I don't want any of that. I just think you're a super important part of the community.
And she is. Nobody.
I will say that the people I've met in YouTube have all been so amazing. Other platforms, we're fortunate. There's other platforms where it gets like cutthroat. It's a little bit ridiculous. When we went to Kentucky, we were at Heaven Hill. We overheard somebody talking, and they had a channel. And I looked him up, like, oh, okay, I know who this is. And whenever to introduce myself, my husband mentioned and started about the channel name, and he introduces himself to my husband. And my husband's like, no, it's not mine, it's hers. And he's like, oh, and shook my hand and immediately turned and ignored me and started talking to the guy again. And I'm like, okay,
Fuck that
unfollow.
guy.
Yeah. I'm like, seriously?
Dude,
So yeah, and I've seen it
if
get
you want
like
me to
kinda
talk to that
corporate.
guy, I'll talk to him.
That's right.
I honestly, Stacey, I've said this before. You were exactly what this community needed
Oh,
when they
thank
needed
you.
it. I really mean that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a perfect thing when you
I had
popped
fun
in
with
there.
it.
Yeah, that was a niche that you fit right into. And
I'm already drinking it anyway, so
Yeah,
I
dude,
appreciate it. I love sharing it all with you guys. I
and
love
that's
putting all these different
that's
names
the
out
whole
there,
thing.
and
That's the whole thing, Stacy. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. I mean, it's about sharing, and it's just about discussing this stuff in general. I mean, I threw in the tobacco just as a side. That's just one of the things, and I'm still working on it. But boy, my biggest thing is getting these time zones down, particularly when we're talking the UK and
oh
Australia.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so
I always have a couple
hard.
people from Ireland in my streams, and I'm like, man, it's a lot later in the evening for you all.
It is,
dude.
and then
James Morgan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
I'm
that
like,
freaking guy. It's like 7 hours after my
yeah, it's like
time.
breakfast time for James now.
yeah, exactly. I think he's 8 hours ahead of us. We've talked about this before, but Sweet Galen's is a channel I like over there, and I chat with those guys often. And James is on there in the chat too, and I've been trying to work out a stream with them for a couple of months now. It's just not good. And then trying to get a stream together with a guy in Lithuania. Holy smokes, you might as well forget that.
Yeah.
I mean, that JD guy. Oh my gosh. Oh, hey JD, what's up?
Hi, JD.
Look at
I'm a patron of 4-Leaf Whiskey now.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Oh, was there a doubt now that I know it's there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I do have to go to bed. I have to be up early in the morning, and it's now like almost midnight. And
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be up much longer. I got a little bit to finish. I'm sure
Hey,
Stacy
did
probably
you
has a
get
little
the
to finish
job,
in her glass.
Anthony?
And
Didn't you interview for a job last few weeks ago?
actually, I didn't interview for it. I got it. I interviewed in March, May, and so there's a brand new school being built. It's a high school, and I'm going to that as the supervisor. So I'll start there on the 24th of July.
Congrats, dude.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a big
so
deal.
happy
So,
for
and
you,
I'm
man.
crossing my fingers that I will be on a daylight time instead of this afternoon stuff, so I can actually be part of other people's streams, annoy them in chat and stuff like that.
More than that, I hope that you're happy and find a good spot in your brain, buddy.
Oh, yes, I agree with you on that. So I'm kind of looking forward to it myself. I see the pictures, they post them on Instagram and they copy me on it. And it looks pretty interesting. I don't understand some of the stuff when I go, well, why would you do that? But not my circus, not my monkeys, not my show.
Vegas.
Not my pig, not my
Whatever.
farm.
Boom. There you go. So I try to keep that in my head. But anyway, while we got on here, I will sign off since I know Stacy's about done. Mike's about done. I'll do the same thing because I'll be up at 4 this morning, which is in 5.5 hours.
Jesus,
So,
Anthony, I'm gonna be up at like 8 my time, but whatever.
Oh,
I just need
well,
sleep.
do you want me to do a wake up call for you? I'll be up.
No, I just need sleep. I'm just saying. I also have a conscience called Frankie.
That's right.
And she's like, why aren't you in bed yet? Why aren't you? I can hear her. She's not even texting me right now, but I can hear her.
That's right. She's thinking it.
Yeah.
She reached over there to smack you and you weren't there.
100%.
100%. But anyway, hey,
It was good to see both of you. It was great.
It is good to see everybody. It's good to see
Stacey,
you all.
are you going to Michigan?
Yeah.
I can't because it's like the same weekend or the weekend after the Dublin Irish Festival, Dublin, Ohio.
Oh.
And my husband and I help run the Irish Festival, and we have to work the whole time. So.
Yes. Yes, I remember you saying that because you've been asked
Yeah.
that question a few times about going up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someday it won't fall on the same weekend and I'll actually be able to go.
Well, these people need to get their act together if they want you to go. You cannot do it on this particular weekend. So
It's second
hey,
biggest Irish festival in the country. I gotta be there.
you got to. Cheers, Joe. Thanks for popping
Hey,
in.
Joe.
And it is a great night. So I'll sign off and just say cheers to everybody. And thank you again to the people in chat, people here that's live tonight, and say thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all again next weekend. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, you guys.
Have a good night.